Okay. For example, I've selected this kind of person that is sitting while reading, and we want to turn this real person to a flat vector personage. But what you should do is first you should add the real picture in Illustrator. The thing that you should pay attention to, keep in mind, is always make sure to create a new page, before, for example, A3 or A4, and add the picture on that page. And your page should be CMYK. And so you shouldn't add the picture in, a new thing without opening or creating anything. You should not open the picture. You should just create a page and then open the picture on that page. So this is the correct way. So an empty layout, empty page. And after that, add the personage. And after you've added it, it can be your picture or your friend's picture or any stranger you've downloaded from the internet, anything, sitting or standing, drinking, eating, reading, or doing anything with laptop or phone. And these things are used a lot in graphical presentations. And after you've added them, you make sure to decrease the opacity. For example, I put it on 50. And press Ctrl 2. Ctrl 2, it locks it in place, or if you come from here, from layers, pay attention that your layers should be in the left side or right side, but it should be there and it should be open so you can see it. We are working a lot with these layers, and these are engaging, and you should know which layer is on top of which layer, and this being up or down is really important. So your first layer here, that is the main layer, should be, for example, real people. And here, but for starting, the thing that you should pay attention is okay, I have two suggestions. Either start from use the most bottom layer in the back, and in a human that would be the skin of the human. So skin, hair, and clothing. Yeah. So this is the order that you should keep in mind, and this is the first thing. So first method is starting from skin, the bottom layer, or the second is start from top, so from the front and go to the bottom. So this is another method. There's no real difference between them. It depends on how you like it. So for starting, I open a new layer, I create a new layer, and I'll name it skin. But now for the color of skin. The color that you select, either with eyedropper, and you can use eyedropper and select it here, or the next thing that exists is you can use the color families that are in Illustrator. So you go to swatches. You can do it from here too. We have swatch libraries menu. I'll press here, and we have an option here called skin tones. When you press skin tones, really easily you can see all the skin tones that exist. So this is a really easy skin tone method for those that are not really familiar with the colors. and they may be lost while finding and selecting colors. They can use this too. So you go to libraries, and from here you can find skin tones. Everything is categorized here. So skin tones, and it opens. And this can be here minimized or maximized based on your choice. All right, for now, I'll use the color, the skin color of this person, and later I'll teach you a technique so you can add and change the color at the end. So for starting, you have many ways, many options. One is you can start and work with pen tool, and I'll zoom in. So make sure to zoom in and work very clean. Now I start working. Like this. The stroke is off and fill is on. So the curve areas should be drawn too. I'm holding space, move a little with pen. Like this. These areas are not seen. Let's place like this. All right. So here, from the lowest layer, so skin. All right. After this, we get to work on the neck. And at the end, make sure to keep in mind and you should do some edits on the anchors. And here, for example, should be a little bit rounded. Make it softer. So these little details make your work very much interesting. So the first method is with pen, and I'll try out different methods in continuing, or you can work with pencil or paintbrush tool. But the difference between these are in their attention. So you have a lot more control using pen. So I'll start from here. Scan. Start from here. Press here and start working. Here too. And this area. And here. After I'm done, I close it. All right, so this until here, and then we get to hands. I'll press on pen and start working with these. Okay, so see, for example, here we made a mistake, and if you press backspace, it will be solved. And then here, delete Japan. Okay, continue, we go here. And with patience, I start drawing. pay a lot of attention to these curves, so your work would be professional. Okay, so I draw the right hand. Backspace. Okay, so see if here, for example, you want to have, if you want to go several steps back, you can go to here and delete, if you press delete anchor point, and this is really professional, starts deleting the previous steps. And then after that, and draw and see how much I've zoomed in. This itself is really important. So here again, zoom in. And here. Okay. I go back and see, really professional and clean. It's drawn. So the next step is this hand. All right, so now the next step, okay, so we drew with pen so far. The other method is the tool called paintbrush tool. Paintbrush tool, I select paintbrush tool and see drawing overall what happens here. It's stroke, so I can just change this here and turn this to the color turns to here. This is one method, so you can use paintbrush tool to do the same job. You can just simply select paintbrush and then give it a stroke a little bit and start drawing. For example, from here, this part of the hand. All right. I selected, decrease the stroke or just remove the stroke completely and give it a fill. I press eyedropper and give it a color and remove the stroke. And these areas should be deleted with direct selection tool. We can just select the anchor and bring it here and fix here with the handle and done. Here for the hand or for the fingers, we're going to do another method. Alright, so for hand, we can use, now all of these methods are correct. Paint, brush tool, pen, and pencil. So I use pencil this time and start drawing. For example, from here, the overall silhouette should be run. Okay, and I press I for eyedropper and give it a color like this. And this was another method, and between them create a shadow. But my suggestion would be to make sure to work with pen, and pen has a lot more control and a lot more better, and a lot it's good. The reason for that is now, for example, if you work with pencil to draw something, for example, and see how many anchor points does it have, and if you want to work with all of these, for example, direct selection tool with A, and you see you have a lot of points, and each of these are, for making them clean would take a lot of time. So my suggestion would be to make sure to use, for making your work clean with pen. And I'll activate pen, zoom in. Okay, and I start. You can see this causes your work to be more clean. So if you see that it's not enough, you just click on the previous step and fix it. So for example, this, or for example, work with this. And here. And again. For example, this. Here and here. All right. So I deformed this on purpose, so I'll teach you how to edit the points. So for example, I'll decrease the opacity first so you can see under it. All right. So here, this corner here should be fixed. So I'll really clean, use direct selection tool to fix them. Little curve. Here too. And here. And here a little bit fill, and select this. Here. And here too. You can see Illustrator. If you know Illustrator, in advanced, you won't hit a dead end at all. Here. And here fill. And here too, these for example, you can see how better it looks. And here too, and here, fill. Alright, so you can see how clean and professional. And the opacity turn back to 100. Alright, so you can see here is completely great, exact, and alright. Or I'll zoom in and fillet some of these. and there are areas that has a little bit corners. So here, zoom in. Here. And these corners should be easily fixed. Okay. So in next step, we start go working on other layers. So in other layers and front layers, we have a blouse and a skirt and socks and also shoes. So we start with the blouse. For example, we go here and we write shirt and select it, for example. All right, so in this layer that we start drawing the blouse. So how many parts does it have? We can either give it a pattern, and I can teach you right now, or we can create the pattern and save it, or we can use default patterns. So the skin should be locked, so I won't move it. So I'll start creating the blouse. Here, I design. And here I give it a design and the color. So pay attention that for the color of the shirt, for example, this is black. We don't want to have the exact same. We want to create our own design. You can go to here, swatches, and in here, for example, you see there are some patterns here. You can use these patterns, or you can go these areas, for example, patterns and basic fix, basic graphic. We have texture, lines, dots, decorative, and nature. Or you can go to this styles and use these, or in patterns, for example, you can see really interesting. Or it can be any of these, or this, or this. So for example, I'll select this one. It's really interesting. And start. First, I use this color before I start designing, and then give it a texture. And from here, you can decrease the brightness. For example, I'll start here. And here. And first, the part that is on the hand. Here. like this. And here for this area. And in next step, here you can see in shirt layer, I'll just design this part. And I'll tell you how you can bring this back. And here anchor selected. And like this. All right. So you can see here this now the layer that should be behind this sleeve and behind this arm. How should we do it? So if you bring this from here, that is just here. If you unlock it, and if you move this and bring it here lower, you can see this goes here. And really easy. And in the next step here, okay, behind these two arms, so we go to this layer. Now, for example, I'll go here, activate it, and start drawing. Here. Okay, so this part is here. And if you press Control and brackets, between P and Enter, this goes behind the layer by layer. And you can see the layers here. And here I'll work on them. So like this, direct selection tool, and work with them. So for example, this here, fix it, and this a little here, bring it, and this bring it to here, and this a little bit delete. And you can see really soft and smooth. All right, now I want to add a texture to these. What you do is that you select all three and give them a little texture. Really easy. And this clothing, really chic and clean. This is fixed. All right, so now you want to edit this pattern or texture. You want to edit it. So before I explain about edit, if you want to create a pattern, now anything, it can be, for example, I'll create this, design something here, and change the color. And take a copy, make it smaller, and use different shapes. and you can design this pattern. All right, and now you want to have this pattern and save it for yourself and use in your logos and projects, wherever. So you can simply select all of them and drag and drop it here. You can see here now, really easy. And this pattern, swatch one. And I can simply delete this, don't want to do anything with it. For example, this shirt that we designed, I want to give it the pattern. And this pattern that we created, you can see it here. You can see, really interesting. Or if I go here, for you to see better, I designed a square and I'll drag and drop it here. This pattern that we created now itself is saved. But now you want to know whether it's a prepared pattern, Illustrator pattern, or it's a pattern that you created. You want to change, edit this pattern, make it smaller, bigger, change the color, anything. It's really simple. You can just simply go to pattern in swatches and the pattern that you have. For example, this is the pattern, right? So you can see here selected. I'll go to the pattern and in swatches, double click. And you can see what happens. The pattern, the source pattern opens with a pattern option. And this patterns option, what is it? Now you can simply change the name of the pattern here, that you can change the tile here. You can see it's a brick column and like hexagonal, and you can simply change the height and width of your pattern, give it a size, make it tiles, and change the move it in your axis, and here and here. So for example, now these are really interesting things, and these can be overlapped with each other, and you can see the number of your copies and you can set it. You can, what should be the dimensions, 1 by 1, 1 by 3, and 7 by 7, and like this. And after that you can get the copy, how much should the opacity be, and the edges of your tiles should be seen or not. And you can just edit anything you want, and you can change the color too. So for example, and I'll change the color from here, select one of these. All right, and I changed the color from here, and like this. Okay, and you can see the color changed easily. And now I want it to be black, and so from here, color black. And the thing is here, you should definitely select it. As you can see, save. It was green, and now I change it to, you can see so find the area that's color and change the color. and like this. And okay, and done. And now the amount, I'll increase the amount. And escape. So the settings are applied, and now you want it to be close to each other. You create, and these, place them close to each other like this. And if you press this, they would be together. And I'll try and see.